Hey you guys, I'm Kim with Kim's Crafts and Create It with Kim, and today we're going to make a spooky ghost centerpiece. I've got my 10-inch mesh cut into 14-inch strips, and I've got white and black, and I'm alternating with the black on top and the white on top in each one of the ties. I'm working off of a 8-inch wreath frame that I put 8 pipe cleaners on, and we're just ruffling them up the middle, going every other one. I think here in a minute I accidentally put 3 white ones in a row, but I fixed them before I put the ribbon in. So I'm just using my scissors as a little paperweight, and I'm just getting them all put in there. I twist my little twist ties pretty tightly as I'm going. You have to excuse my sinuses today. Here we are, we're putting the black on top again and just ruffling them down through. Some of the mesh is easier to get them all lined up correctly. Some are easier than the others. This one's pretty easy to work with. I love the white stripes on them. I guess the white has black stripes and the black has white stripes, but they look pretty similar once you get them on there. I have some other black and white stripe mesh that I might have to try this same centerpiece with. I think it would look really cute. But here you go. We see we've got two or three left to put in there. I sped this video up just a little bit so that it wouldn't take as long. I think I sped it up about 2 times as fast. It'd be nice if while we were making it, we could speed ourselves up 2 and 3 and 4 times as fast like we do for all of our videos. It sure would make making orders go a lot faster. Let's see, 2 more. I have this posted over on my TikTok, but I figured I'd make a longer form video for anybody who wanted to try to make one where it goes just a little bit slower. Sometimes after they start getting a little bit full, you just have to push everything out of the way to get what you want it back in there. By the time you get to the last one, it's pretty full. And then once we start fluffing it out, it gets even fuller. I love this technique. I use this on some of my fall garlands as well. I guess on my Christmas ones too. I'm gonna make a I think I'm gonna make a ghost a ghost garland to go along with this. I think that'll be really cute. I want to do one with candy corns too. But anyway, so now we're just taking the 2 that we put on together. We're just going around and pulling them all apart to make it look even more fluffy. I've got that one crazy looking one that I come back and fix in a minute. The one over to the right. He's just sticking out all crazy. But anyways, so we're just pulling them apart so it looks all nice and fluffy, and you can see that there is a difference between the white and the black mesh. We kind of just curl everything around. You got to manhandle it just a little bit because you decide where you want everything to go and how you want it to set. So we just pull it apart, and I'm kind of pointing the rough ends down on the top and the bottom, the raw edges, because as we all know, mesh likes to fray. So if we can get any of the raw edges pointing down, it kind of lessens the chances that it's going to fray on us. See that one crazy one? I fix him in a minute. Okay, so then we've got our ribbon, and I've got ghosty ribbon and black and white harlequin ribbon, and I've cut them at 14 inches, and we're going to put those in every other twist tie. And I put those in the ones that have the white on the top, the white mesh. And I kind of just spread them out. I call it making a W. I'm untwisting the ties before I put the ribbon in there. And we just line it up, fold it in half. That finds our center, and then we crinkle it up and put it in there. And then just kind of fluff up the ribbon. I kind of run my fingers up towards the middle of the ribbon so it kind of gets any of the crinkles or anything like that out so that the ribbon lays down smoother and I can make it set where I want it to set. Again, manhandling stuff just a little bit to make it lay down where you want it to lay down. Making our little W, smoothing everything out. I love these kind of centerpieces because they're fairly simple to make, and some of them just turn out so incredibly cute. I do these for all seasons. So we're just spreading them out, getting everything to lay how we want it to lay down in there. Sometimes you got to move your mesh around a little bit just to get it to where you want it to be. We've got all of our ribbon in there. And so then we move on to the deco tubing. And I kind of just eyeball the size on these, but I tend to make my loops between 4 and 5 inches. And I saved the pipe cleaners that I cut off while I was putting the ribbon on, and I used those for my little twist ties. So you're just going to make one tail on each end and then 4 loops total. You can see I'm kind of pushing the mesh up just to make sure that I've got all my sizes the same, because if they're not the same, you can pull on it just a little bit to kind of adjust your loop sizes. I love using this Deco tubing too. I use it for all the seasons. I've got, I don't know, about 10 different colors, probably more than that. But it's a good way to add just a little pop of color to anything that you're making without, having to go find picks or make picks, or it just adds a little pop of color, just adds a little bit of something. And so then we're going to put those, I'm going to trim off the pipe cleaners that are left on the every other ones, and we're going to glue those in. And we just separate where the pipe cleaner was and go down in between the mesh, and we're gluing pipe cleaner to pipe cleaner. And so we just go around and put it in every other ones of those. I love my little glue gun holder. I built that myself, and it's probably one of my favorite tools. It's very handy. And of course I painted it pink because pink is my favorite color. So we're putting the last one in. I'm just kind of trimming the edges on the bottom of those so that they don't stick out in the middle. And then now I'm adding a little bit of floral foam to the center of our centerpiece because I decided I wanted to put ghosts in the middle. I'd kind of thought in the beginning maybe I would put them kind of sticking out around the edges, but I want them in the middle. So I've got just that little round piece of floral foam, and I've got my floral pins, and I'm just putting them in there trying to get it good and secured. I started off going across and across, and then I come back and put one in between each of those because I wanted to make sure that it was not going to come off. And I bought a big huge bag of those floral pins from Hobby Lobby, thinking I'd never use them, and gosh, I've used almost the whole entire bag at this point. They're pretty handy. As you can see, I'm just going around putting plenty of them in there. I'd rather put way too many in there than not have enough and then it fall apart. And I thought about putting the floral foam on before I started, but then I realized it would make it a little harder to get my deco mesh on there. Which I guess I could have put my deco mesh, my pipe cleaners on first and then put the floral foam. I bet that probably would have been a little easier. Anyway, so I'm putting a little bit of glue, dabbing a little bit of glue around each of the floral pins where they connect to the foam just to give it a little extra added security. We're just putting on plenty of glue. I always use plenty of glue on everything. See, I thought I was finished, but then I come back. I was like, nope, not enough glue. So now I've got 3 of these little ghost picks that I'm going to put there in the middle. And I'm holding the bottom while I'm going because that is a pretty thin piece of floral foam. So I want to make sure that nothing is sticking out of the bottom because I would hate for whoever ends up buying this to scratch up their table or poke themselves or anything like that with the sticks coming out the bottom. So I had these little orange glitter foamy pieces left over from another project, so I used them on these, but you could use little orange ornaments or buy little foam balls and put orange glitter on them themselves. But I have a bunch of these because I clip them off of something else that I don't have any orange in. But I just took, again, leftover pieces of the pipe cleaner that I cut out of this and just glued them into the little foam balls. But I figured I needed to add a little bit of orange on the outside of the wreath or the centerpiece since I had those orange stars on the ghosts. And then we have this, I think this is fern. Not fern, well, maybe fern. Heck, I don't know what this is. Cedar, fern, something. And so I have this stem, and I wanted just a little bit more orange. And so I cut just little pieces off of it, and we're going to glue it in where the ribbons are, just to give it just a little bit more orange. I had intended on making this all black and white, but when my little ghosts had the orange stars, I thought, well, a little bit of pop of color will make it look cute. So we're just gluing in 2 little pieces of those into all the ribbons. By the time I get done with my project, I've got so much stuff sitting on my table. It starts off so nice and clean, And by the end, there's stuff everywhere. So we're putting the last one in there. And he's getting cuter already. And so I have these PVC pencil stems. I use these a lot for Christmas too. And I take an old dowel rod from, I think it's just a scrap piece that I had. And I twist up 3 of the little pencil stems. And I thought it might be long enough to stick down in there, but it wasn't. And so I save my little stems, like if I'm making anything with florals and I've cut the stem pretty short, I will save the stem and then I take a little 4-inch zip tie, take a little 4-inch zip tie and attach it with it so that it gives us a little stem, makes it a little longer, makes it easier to put the stuff in there. And so I'm just adding, I think 3 of those, yeah. I'm just adding 3 of those to give the ghost just a little bit of something extra there in the middle. Putting my longer stem on there. We're going to get that last one in there and get him all adjusted how he needs to be. There we go. And then there he is. Super cute. I think it turned out so cute for Halloween.